And hello everyone, welcome back to another nim tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be taking a look at time in nim. So let's start off by just importing std/times, and let's start off with something cool. Let's go let CPU duration is equal to CPU time. Now, it's just a little cool function that allows us to calculate the time a program took to execute. So you can say echo took so long to finish the program. And here we just go CPU time, so we call it again, minus the CPU duration. So this is basically the start time. We can actually call that start time. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to get the current CPU time and minus it from the time it was when we first started the program, and it's going to tell us how long the program was running for. So if we were to run this, but this is a great way to time code if you want to see how efficient your code currently is and what pieces of code is taking the longest. If you put some CPU time on it, then you can see, okay, I'm saying this one is taking 50 seconds as an example, while this one here is taking 2 seconds. And this will allow you to configure your code to be more efficient. But that's just a nice tip, it's not really too much part of the rest. So let's go let a is equal to parse. And here we can input a date string. So let's say 2002, the 8th month, and the 5th day. Now we could just do this, however we need to keep in mind nim doesn't know what is the year, month, or day, because everywhere it's different. So what we should do is we should say comma, specify these are the years, these are the month, and this is the days. For example, if we put 3 Ds here, then this could be something like sat for Saturday or sun for Sunday, just as an example, where 2 Ds would represent, if I just go back here, 2 Ds would represent 2 digits. 1 D would represent here 1 digit, so it will be like that. Whilst 2D will always be 2 digits. And in 4Ds will be the full day name, so not just sat, but Saturday, and so on. It's also available on the nim documentation. Anyhow, we can just say echo and then $A, the dollar, just with everything else, will convert it to a string. So here we go. So now this is the date that we currently have here. If you hover over this, this is of type date time. So it's not a string, it's not something else, it's specifically a date. You can also do something like echo between, and this will get the time between 2 dates. So here we can pass in a, and then pass in parse 2024-01-15. And we can again pass in the format it is currently in. And now it will tell us the time between these two. So here we can say it's 21 years, 5 months, 1 week, and 3 days. We can also go, let's say, let d is equal to date time. And I believe this is only for newer versions of nim. So anything after version 1.5. So nim version 1.5 and up. From nim version 1.4, you may not be able to use this. So just take that as note if you're using an old version of nim. If you have nim version 2, this should be perfectly fine. So we say 2005, og, which is month, and then August. The 5th day at hour 23, 42 minutes, so 11 p.m., 42 minutes, and 21 seconds. And here you'll also see it gives us this. You can also add nanoseconds and zone if you want to. And of course echo d as a string. And there we go. So 2005, 8th month, 5th day, and so on. So that's another way you can create a date time object if you're not fond of parse. We can also have b, and that can be init duration. And let's say weeks is equal to 3, so 3 weeks, 2 days, and 4 hours. Basically, this is a duration. It's not necessarily a time. So we look here as a duration. The nice thing about this is we can do something like echo a plus b. So now we're going to take this datetime and we're going to add 3 weeks, 2 days, and 4 hours to it. So if we take a look at it now, you'll notice times have changed. Of course, again, to convert this to a string, you can just say $, and I will convert this duration to a string. It also works with mathematical operations, so b times 4. And if we were to run this, it will be 13 weeks, 1 day, and 16 hours. So if you want to like double the duration, it's simply just 8 times, which is awesome. You can also do comparisons. So let's say let d is equal to init duration, weeks equal 5, days equal 1, seconds equals 44. Now you can echo out, is d larger or equal to b? So now, if we were to run this, we'll get true. Ignore this one here, that's still from this echo. We'll get true because d is longer than b. You can also do in days and pass in d. And it will get the time or the duration in days. So if we go like this, 36 days is this. You also have things like in hours, in microseconds, in milliseconds, in minutes. So you can do this with more than just days. You can also convert it to an array by going to parts. And by doing this, you'll get an array 000440015, where this is the weeks, this is the days, and this is the seconds. You can of course also go weeks like this, and then if you were to run it, you'll only get the weeks from it. So you're basically passing in a constant pointing to the index in the array where the weeks are being stored. So that will return the amount of weeks that is currently in the array. Cool. You can also do something like init duration. Let's go minutes equal 5. Let's divide that by 3. So now you get 5 minutes divided by 3. And this is because we can do mathematical operations with duration. So that will be 1 minute and 40 seconds. Anyhow, let's echo out, convert, days, weeks, 99. So it converts from one interval to another, and this will return us with 14 weeks. So it's going to convert from days into weeks. So there's going to be 99 days in weeks. So if we run this, we'll get 14 weeks. If we were to swap this and say weeks, and maybe try and convert that into days, we'll notice we had 693 days. Now sometimes you want to get the current time. It's as simple as going let f is equal to get time. This will get the current time. So if we echo out f, then here we go. So this is the current time. You can also do something cool as let d is equal to days 5. If we were to echo out d and run this, we'll get 5 days. So we get the duration here, or in this case a time interval. So this will give us 5 days. We can easily go f plus d because we can add time intervals or duration to time and date. So if we were to run this, then now 5 days will have been added. Alternatively, instead of get time, you can also use now, and this will also get the current date and time, as you can see here. Now, if you want something more like a string, you can echo out get clock string. This will get the current time and convert it into hours, minutes, and seconds. You can also pass in values like now, and let's say we say minus hours free. This is the same as days, but in this case, we're using hours. If we were to run this, we get currently it's 9 a.m., 40 minutes past, 55 seconds. Then here, it is 6 a.m. because we subtracted 3 hours from it. So if you pass in nothing, it will return the current time. If you pass in something, it will return that time as a string. And in this case, we can actually subtract and whatnot from that time to get the specific time we want. Now we have a similar item, but for the date. So we can say get date string. And this will get the current date as a string. 2024, first month, 15th day. We can also get the time of week. So get day of week. And let's say the 7th of August, 2005. If we were going to run it, we'll get Sunday. So this day here was a Sunday. We can also get day of year. And this will return us 218. So this was the 218th day of the year. You can also get the time in month, or the amount of days in a month. So get days in month. And let's just go Control C, V. Then here we can just say, go like this, February. And let's do between 2000 and 2001. You'll notice one has 29, one has 28, because one is a leap year. So this is very useful if you want to know if that year is potentially a leap year. Another way you can do this is you can say get days in year, because a leap year has one extra day. So then we just have to pass in the year, not the month, and Bob's your uncle, we get 366 days and 365. You can also get UTC, and this will get the UTC time zone. And again, you can pass in a time if you want to be more specific. So here, if we run this, then here you'll just get an ETC/UTC. And in here, you'll actually get the time, but UTC is leap year 2000. Just to end it off in a simple note where this will return true because this is a leap year. If we were to make this 2001, we'll get false because it is not a leap year in 2001. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all again in the next NIM tutorial.